The dream. I'm going to try to summarize this
Okay.
because it's repetitive. I'm asleep. I wake up and there's a doll standing over me. This happened about 4 times, and every time it was a different doll. I would
Same
grab,
night?
yes, yes, it was all within the same dream. Two things: I hate dolls, those creepy looking ones, and I hate clowns. But in the dream, it was the same thing. I kept waking up and there's this doll standing over me. I grab it by the neck and I walk out, and I see, in front of me the kids. Down the hall is my other child. And about the third time, I every time I passed by, there was a magazine stand, like a circular one that you can turn around, and it had these dolls, the ones that I was catching over me, and I was grabbing them. It's like they were folded up in a little plastic thing, and they were just sticking there so that you could go and pick one up and open it or whatever. And when I noticed that, I stood in front. I looked forward, and my mom was there, and my mom was like, whoa, almost zoned out, just
Zombie
strange.
like.
Yes. And I didn't know what to do. I put my hand on her forehead and I just started calling on the Lord. And then again, the fourth time I'm back to sleep, I wake up. And this was the creepy part. It was that doll with the circle, from Saw.
Yep.
And he did this to me. He just came in like zoomed in. And when I woke up, all I saw were the glowing eyes. And even after I woke up, I could still see the eyes. And that was the dream.
Wow. So you woke up in the first couple, you woke up and there were these dolls that were just like around you.
No, there was only one doll standing over me, watching me sleep.
And it was like
And
life size, like human size.
I couldn't tell, but it was enough where maybe, I don't know, half a human size, and I just grabbed it, like big enough, but it was still, I could grab it by the neck, and I was like, "What the fluff," and I walked off, and um, but yeah, the first 2 times they didn't seem mean or anything, but that fourth one, it felt sinister, like
Yeah.
creepy as can
Would
be.
you like to play a game, kind of?
The feeling was almost this boldness coming from it, that he was going to be like, what come on, bring it. um that's what the dream felt
So the
like.
other interactions, the other three times, it just was just over the top of you and that was
It
it.
was just standing over me, and
Okay.
the first 3 times I just grabbed it, and I'm like, who's doing this or whatever. And as I'm walking out, I believe it was that third time when I noticed that magazine rack with all these similar dolls that I was grabbing by the neck,
Yeah. When
folded
you
and
said the magazine rack, I heard paper tiger. A paper tiger is the idea of like an Asian company that really has no substance. And that's what I feel these are. I feel like the dolls represent, in particular, fear. And it's a fear that a lot of people would play with because they'd be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a scary movie, or it's just this or that. And then it, haunts you in your dreams. And now people are like, well, what the heck? By the way, you don't have nightmares because you watched a scary movie. God speaks to you through things that you understand. So if you watch scary movies, you may have nightmares about scary movies, but it's not the scary movies attacking you. It's God speaking to you in a language that you know. So I think it's what we would call a paper tiger. These are paper dolls. They're in this like magazine, so it represents the idea of a paper doll. But then when they come out of their packaging, they seem lifelike and real, and they're kind of scary. And the last one has to do with the idea of an enigma, right, or a riddle, because that's how Saul would operate. Is he would put your life in jeopardy, and then you would have to solve a puzzle or a riddle in order to be able to continue living. And so it was first, it's just the idea of fear, but there's nothing really to be afraid of other than fear of the unknown. Why is this doll in front of me? But the last one represents somebody that literally wants to kill and destroy people, and he does it in this twisted game-like manner. So I feel like what God is saying is there's something in your life in particular, and you had it 4 times, so it's right now. It's happening immediately or around the time of this dream that has to do with fear, that has to do with something that you've kind of been playing with a little bit. And it has to do with the idea of strategy that you're afraid to step into and do what you probably know you already need to do.
Let me elaborate on that dream a little bit. This dream came about because I had a conversation with a family member, and there's some contention between two family members. Um, Me, I call out the BS. If I see that you're BSing, I'm going to tell you you're BSing. And that's what I did. So, you know, it resulted with, well, let me pray to the Lord and ask Him to show me what's really going on. And then this dream ensued. Um,
It's an answer
so
to prayer for sure. So God's
yes, it
showing.
is. Yes, it is. Like I said, I don't like dolls and I don't like clowns, and I felt like that thing was that. But mm, I guess what I took from it was, because the Lord showed me who in the dream was at fault. That's kind of what I felt. Um, and it was like we're touching things that we shouldn't be playing with.
Mhm.
That was that. I don't know. When I woke up, that's kind of what.
Wow.
Um,
Well, I think God is clearly speaking to you about this dream and what it means. And so hopefully this provided some clarity. But wow, thank you for sharing that with us.